Good morning and welcome back to another day in the woods where it's my birthday today. I'm getting old. I am 35 this year. I had to think about that one. But just because it's my birthday doesn't mean we're not cracking on with the house. And today I'm really hoping to get the floor down in the bathroom. I'd say floor, it's like a subfloor, so it's like the chipboard floorboards that I'm putting down. It looks a little bit like this. They are 2400 by 600 mil P5 moisture resistant chipboard. So what I need to do is cut them down to size, obviously, lay them down, and they all slot together, their tongue and groove. And then in the tongue and groove, I need to basically put some wood glue that is like I don't know if water soluble is the right word, but I need to glue them together to kind of seal the floor. And then to fix it to the floor, I'm going to be using my nail gun. And the nails I'm going to be using are the 33-degree galvanized nails. Oh, this is the glue, by the way. D4 wood glue. It's totally waterproof, D4 grade. It should do the job. In theory, the floor should go down fairly quickly. However, I need to do a little bit of clear up before I can actually start laying the floor, as there are a fair few floorboards still in the floor that I need to remove, as well as, I don't know if anyone remembers, but when I removed the floorboards to do all the pipe work here, I had to essentially chisel the boards out because they're obviously below the stud work, and I need to slot the new ones in, but in there you can see all of the nails are still there. So I'm gonna have to go in there with my multi-tool and attempt to remove the nails, which I probably should have done before fitting all of this, but it's push fit, so I can just pull it out and it's not that big of a deal. But yeah, the floorboards ideally need to slot into that so it's sitting on top of that joist. However, to be perfectly honest, because of where the stud work's going to be, it's not a major concern if I floor that anyway, because you're never going to see it. But just for peace of mind, if I can get my floorboards under there, it's spread across more weight, or rather more joists. What I'm also going to do is I'm going to spray where all of my pipe work is running, so I know in the future when I come to obviously nail the floor down or screw it or do whatever I'm going to do to the floor, I know that in this joist there's a water pipe running through there, so I don't accidentally shoot a nail through the floorboard and hit any of my water pipes and or cables. So yeah, I'm going to mark up all of my chipboard flooring so I know exactly where all of my utilities are running. Now, it's not going to be a really simple process of just cutting boards and slot them in, because obviously I'm going to have to drill out holes where my pipe work is coming up. Obviously this one here goes into the wall, but that particular pipe, the waste pipe, needs a hole in it, for example. So it's going to have to be meticulously measured. So hopefully when I slot my board in, I can remove this pipe and push the pipe through the board into that fitting right there. Fortunately, I have access from underneath anyway, so I can, kind of screw these back in. And the waste pipe itself doesn't actually need it. So to be honest, I don't necessarily think I'm going to floor the entire room. I could do, but because of the electrical mains for the house all runs from that hole right there, which I do need to move later on. I need to talk to a Sparky about that. But because I'm going to reroute the electrics, I might leave this bit exposed just so I can still access like the main pipe work as well as the main wiring for the house. The whole purpose of me putting this floor down is so I can get access to that loft hatch without hurting myself and there being like a hole in the floor. Right now, trying to balance a ladder on this whilst holding tools and working up there is just not safe. So that's why I put my floor down now. Anyway, that's the plans. People have been asking me like, what are you doing for your birthday? I'm like, this is what I'm doing for my birthday. So yeah, come with me as we try to lay a floor down and get this room looking a little bit nicer. I think later on, if I can get the floorboards all done, seeing how long, I don't know how long it's going to take me to do it, but if we can get a good amount of floorboards out, I would like to poke my head up into the loft and just have a quick look to see what's going on with the wasp situation, because obviously the next thing is to move that hatch. But right, let's go get the tripod and get these boards removed. Actually, whilst I still have a bit of a floor, I'm going to try using my reciprocating saw to cut these nails. I apologise for whatever camera angle I'm about to use to try and film that, because it's in a really hard location to get to. Right, I have you balanced in the most precarious place ever. We're just going to give this a go. I have no idea if this works. I've never tried it before, but I can't even really see what I'm doing. Right, This is so awkward. Right, put that there. Okay, we've got a nail there. We're gonna just, bloody hell. Okay, that actually works quite a treat. Looks like we can just use this then. Ah, beautiful. Oh, that one's annoying. It's like above as well. Oh, this is going to be so awkward. I haven't got a lot of room to get my reciprocating saw in. I think there's going to have to be a combination of that and a chisel, but... I do obviously still have my multi-tool, a hacksaw, a angle grinder. I've got all the tools I could possibly need to get this out, but the fact that this reciprocating saw actually does the trick is perfect. I've obviously used it to cut wood. I've never actually tried cutting steel with it, so... Or the iron nails, I don't know what the nails are made out of, but that thing goes through it like butter. What a result. That was actually so easy. I managed to do all of that with the reciprocating saw. I'm so glad I brought it. It's actually come in so handy. I did try like squeezing the multi-tool in there, but the multi-tool, like the blade that I've got isn't long enough to actually reach the nails underneath there. So with all the nails cleared out, I think the only thing that's left for me to do now is remove this floor and start laying a new one. So as you've seen me do this a gazillion times, now you see it, now you don't. As always, quite daunting being able to just see to the floor below. Going to be quite interesting to work on this floor as I lay new ones. What I might do is use some of the old boards just to have something sturdy to walk on as I like try and obviously shift big floorboards in here. But I've cleaned up all of the joists. I think we are basically just good to go and to start laying the floor down. To be perfectly honest, I'm pretty sure the first board is probably the hardest, and then after that it should be fairly smooth sailing. Once I get the first one in, because I've got, you know, a couple of pipes that need to come through it, as well as like slotting it in and a little bit of a cut at the corner. Once we've nailed that, yeah, it should be good. The width of the floor is actually 200, but to allow for some expansion and a little bit of wiggle room, I'm going to knock 5 to 10 mil off that and probably just do it at 199. I imagine the room is not square. Nothing ever is when you are doing stuff like this. So if I can knock off a centimetre, then we should be okay. This is the room I'm going to cut in. So what we're going to do, grab ourselves a board, lay it down on these rails I put down, like so. And then we just need to measure from here, 199. Right, there's our line, and we just need our circ saw, which we will adjust to the right height. I don't actually need to speed square it, but just to get a neat doesn't hurt, does it? I bought me glasses for a reason. Try that again. That is one end cut off. Nice clean cut. And that should be 199. So grab our tape. From end to end. Yeah, that's spot on. Okay, the only downside is I've left the tongue on the other side, so bloody hell, that's heavy. Oh. We flip it round. I've left this tongue on, but I don't think I need it, so yeah, let's cut that off. run out of battery. That's good timing. Right. Tongue off. That is our board. At 199. Yep. 1999. Okay, so this is the board that's going to go in, which means I need to cut out this corner. Look at me with my funky glasses on. Right, I'm not going to film whilst I do this because I'm obviously balancing on beams. However, I just need to measure this corner so I know exactly how much to cut out. Look, have it. It's exactly 34 by 34. We've got our square cut out. I need to move my torch so I can actually see what I'm doing. In an effort to keep the cuts nice and straight, we'll use the speed square again. We can finish that off with a multi-tool. Use the tools that we have at our disposal. Nice. This should slot in perfectly. What I'm going to do now, I could measure up the pipe holes now, but I think I'm going to try slot it in first. I reckon if I get it in place, it'll be easier to mark out exactly where I need to drill my holes for the pipe work once it's in there. And to be fair, once I lay it down, I can actually slide it into place and then I can mark up exactly where I need to put my pipe holes. This is not the easiest thing to do on your own, but I need to slot it in underneath the joist first. I'm hoping there's enough space between the stud work and the joist to do that. So we'll flip this round. Yeah, that's what I was a little concerned about. I'm wondering if I can just slide it all the way down and avoid this windowsill. Bring this board back a bit. Yeah. How the bloody hell am I meant to do that? The measurement's spot on, but to get it underneath this stud work, I need to remove these floorboards, I think. And then I am essentially hoping I can slide it all the way down. Alternatively, if this doesn't work, I'm going to have to cut this board in the middle here, up there, and do it in two parts, which I would like to avoid, if at all possible. So what we're going to do is, I reckon we use my multi-tool, cut these boards out, and give that a go first, and hopefully we can slide it in. Little by little. Jesus Christ. Ow! Let me in. If this doesn't work, then I have no idea. So, this board, we're going to heat up. Slide that in. Now, oh, would you look at that? What I think I might need is a mallet. Because yeah, getting that through there is going to be a push. The plan is, I'm going to use this offcut, put that up to there. Instead of hitting this and damaging the tongue, we hit this board. This could be a long old process. effort to try and get it underneath here, which it is a tight fit, I can't lie. Oh, you know, where's my knee pad? My knees are killing me already. I am hoping that eventually it just slides a little easier. So I mean, look at that, it's got loads of slide over this side. See if I can put it. No, it's so thick. We'll just keep making our way across the room. Definitely safe to say in certain spots it's easier than others. There you go, right. It slides here. Oh, please don't let me in. What's that stuck on now? Oh, it was nearly home free. There's something in the way for it there though. Oh, I have a feeling there's a stray screw in there. Oh, I'm melting. That'd be funny if I've mismeasured that. Actually, no, it won't be funny. I can hammer it home, but I need to measure up that bit. It is hot and sweaty work. People come round and like it's so cold in your house. And I'm like, yeah, I want it to be cold because when I'm working on it, it's much better for it to be cold in here than hot. I think when the seasons change and stuff and we start to get rooms finished, I'll have to keep the heating on. But for the time being, it serves no purpose being on, so. We're so close. Before I mark out where these are, I need to make sure my board is actually square. And it needs to, when I fit it to the wall, it needs to be square because obviously as I keep going through the room, if it's out of square here, it will follow it all the way up. Essentially just get progressively worse as I make my way out to the other side of the room. But I actually think I'm only gonna need to use 3 boards, maybe 4, and it will get me to where I need to go. So yeah. Apart from this hammering business, it's actually quite easy. You can just about see it, but I've got 2 marks here where I'm going to drill through so these pipes can go through the board and straight into the fitting below it. Just used a rule to make sure it was the same distance on that side as it was on this side, so I know my board is straight and or square. Then we just use our drill to drill a hole right here. That's one. That's 2. I'm hoping that pipe fits through that hole. We should, in theory, be good to now take these off. Ta-da! I thought I hadn't put an insert in it then. It's stuck in here. I kind of learnt now to leave the tap running downstairs. So when I let air into here, it has somewhere for it to go. Sweet. Right, move this board slightly. Need to disconnect this now. Like so. Put that there for now. I think I'm actually going to need a bit of a longer piece of pipe here because this is a bit short. But, typical. This is why people don't like these fittings, because the inserts always get stuck. So now, when I push the board all the way in, underneath there, in theory, the holes should line up pretty spot on, and then I can just drop my pipe through. So let's push this board the rest of the way home. I wasn't going to film it because I thought it would take me ages, but literally a couple of bangs in, it's all done. Nice and flush along the back. It's tucked underneath the stud work, which is nice. Look at this, new floor. All right, I just need to put pop the pipes through the hole, which means a fair bit of going up and down the stairs because I need to be underneath to connect it. Beautiful piece of kit. I could have gone a little bit tighter in this corner and just kind of tried to hook the soil pipe as much as possible. But because the soil pipe's going to be clipped to the wall or pipe clipped to the wall, there's no real reason for me to try and keep that as tight as possible. It just creates a lot more work that's unnecessary because it's all being boxed in anyway. But those two are good. Obviously, we've got our hot and cold for the bath. I made the pipe a little bit longer just to give me a little bit more wiggle room. It's always easier to make it shorter than it is to make it longer. Although, to be fair, because I'm not going to be putting a ceiling in there for a while, I'm going to have access to it. The next board's actually going to take us up to the next pipe. And then the next board after that should bring us up to this point here, which should be more than enough floor space for me to sort that out. So let's go cut another board. Slot it into place. Hammering this in is exhausting, but before we actually slot it in, we need to apply some D4 adhesive wood glue. And all we're going to do is put it in this joint. A little bit more than what I'm doing, but I'm doing this one-handed. So yeah, we're going to fill this joint like so, and then bang the board in. Would have filmed that, but what I didn't quite consider is the sheer amount of glue that was dripping into the bathroom down below, covering my toilet and washing machine and things. So yeah, the board is glued and it's now in. Unfortunately, there is a tiny gap at one end. You can see it a little bit more prominently here, but there is like a very small gap there. Whereas on this side, it's basically tight. Ultimately, I don't think it matters too much. Like the glue is obviously, it's tongue and groove and the glue is going to tie it all together. So probably at this point, I should hope that I've not made any mistakes because that is glued and definitely not coming back out. If I had to hammer it to get it in, I will have to cut it to bits to get it back out. But yeah, I'm quite happy with that. 2 floorboards in. I am now questioning whether I've made a mistake or I'm missing something, but I think I'm okay. Typically, my T falls right on where 2 boards join. There, as you can see. A little bit annoying, but yeah, not the end of the world. I've just measured out now where the next board will go up to. So one more board will get me basically right in line with this wall, and then the next board will take me over to where the cables are currently running here. So I don't think there's any real reason for me to go 4 boards. I think I can probably just get away with 1 more board. That gives me plenty of floor space to work on the loft hatch. And I can still access things for the time being until I'm properly happy with everything. Because obviously a part of first fixing is still like, whilst it is a lot of plumb work, it's electrical work as well. I need to think about, one thing I've not thought about yet is like where I'm going to put like a shaving port charger thing, you know what I mean, for like toothbrushes and so on. I don't know where that's going to go at this precise moment in time. Probably against that wall because it'll be the easiest wall to run cables through, so it's not the end of the world. But obviously the lights, wires and other wiring is going through this floor space to get into this room as well as the corridor. So yeah, for the time being, I think if I can get away with just having the boards from this wall outwards into like the main section of the bathroom, and I can keep this bit exposed, that would be ideal. Because like I said before, electrical is going to run in there, and I'm thinking about adding spotlights into a lot of places, like the corridor, for example. I don't know 100% just yet, but it's handy to have access to that space there. So with the last board to go, who doesn't love a little bit of magic? Unfortunately, it didn't go as smooth as I would have liked because of this pipe right here. It fits through and everything's just fine, but underneath where it connects into the elbow, it's a really tight space, and I can't be up here to push that down and be below there to stop it from basically get it to fit at the same time. So I'm gonna have to wait for Jess to come back to help me with that one, as I'm home alone today. So yeah, gonna have to wait before I can fix that. But we have a floor. I can't. It's quite bizarre to have a whole floor in here. A part of me does want to keep going and just board the whole thing, but I just know long term it'll be beneficial to have this just open for now. I definitely think there's going to be a situation where I need access to this, and if I glue the boards in, then yeah, not going to be good. But yeah, Look at that. The last thing I need to do now is actually just nail them in. One thing I didn't actually mention is on this side with the stud wall, I don't know if it's because I've been hitting the boards in or what the case is, but for whatever reason, there is always a tiny gap on this side. It goes flush over there, but here you can literally see a gap and you can see the damage to the board as well. So I don't know if that's because of something I've done or what it is, or because it's underneath there and I can't get any wiggle room. Either way, they are glued beyond belief, and for like double insurance I could go around with some silicone and just silicone over them, or tape the joints or something like that. I don't know if it's something I even need to worry about, to be honest, because this isn't a waterproof floor in the sense that it's not meant to be like watertight, it's just moisture resistant. And then on top of that, I'm going to have like a waterproof floor. I could tile up in here now that I know that it can handle the weight, but we're still kind of leaning towards laminate. Jess really likes the grey laminate, so we might do that, and that will be like sealed with silicone all around the edges and all that good stuff, and water's not going to get through that, then get through the moisture board, and then get downstairs. So I'm not too concerned, to be perfectly honest. But yeah, it's nice to get a floor in. It looks so much nicer with the pipes just poking out like the small holes, rather than seeing the mess of pipe work that I've done down here. But right, well, as I said before, I was going to go into the loft today, but it's my birthday and I don't really want to go into the loft at all, let alone on my birthday. So I might just call it quits, to be honest. I'm all for making progress, and I feel like I've made a ton today, but I do think I've earned myself a little bit of a break. I've been going at it non-stop for most of the day now. It is like getting close to mid to late afternoon. It is chucking it downstairs, outside. So I can't really do a great deal. But it would be nice to relax. Honestly, yesterday, thumping those like posts into the ground and doing other bits and bobs, I am aching a little bit, annoyingly. And after bashing in that floor as well. Oh yeah, it would be nice just to spend a little bit of the day just doing nothing. To be honest, for years and years now, I think ever since I hit 30 actually, I decided that every year on my birthday I was gonna do something that I'd not necessarily done before, or go somewhere I've never been before. And every year I have kept that tradition up of going somewhere I've never been. And this year, it's like Benji's at like a birthday, like his best friend's birthday party today. So he's like, the family are out for like 4 hours or something like that. They're out for ages, out for most of the middle of the day. And I do really want to get progress going with the house, not just for progress sake or because of like making content on it or anything like that, because my family needs a home. And it's like, I've said this before, I'm very difficult to stop when I have my mind set that like I need to do this for Jess, for the kids and so on. So like, birthday or no birthday, I'm still going to be here trying to get stuff done. And you know, we've got the floor down. The next big step in that room is the loft hatch. I so wish I didn't have to move it. Honestly, it's going to be such a faff. I can already tell. There's so much insulation up there. The dead wasps up there, or the wasp nest was up there, which I'm not looking forward to dealing with either. It's a crawl space. It's not a very enjoyable place to be. And I've got to go up there, lift up a lot of the insulation so I can find the wiring to put like I said before, to lay the new wiring in, because paying someone else to come fish around in my loft is going to cost me a bloody fortune. So I think I'm just going to get up there, get the wiring sorted so I know where all the wires run, and move the loft hatch. I so wish that I could just remove it, just seal the loft and just never go up there again, but no. Oh, it's a big job. I can already feel it. It wouldn't be so bad if I was like taking the ceilings down anyway, but because I want to largely keep the ceilings like to the attic in place, I don't really want to have to take them down if I can avoid it. It is just going to be a big old messy job. But hey, that's what you signed up for, right? Major house renovation. It's crazy to think we've been doing this for coming up to 2 months now. I feel like I've made no progress. I mean, to be fair, I have laid a trench, put utilities in, ripped the house out, like debugged it or whatever, that's fumigated it and all sorts of stuff, stripped it back, done like a fair chunk on the garden, saved or tried to save a tree, fitted a new toilet in, lay a new subfloor, a concrete pad, self-leveled it, put a new toilet in, set up a washer and dryer, changed the water mains. I have actually done a fair bit, but I just think on my own, it's definitely taking its time, especially as I do it every day. My body is just getting worn. I said to Jess, like, this house is gonna bloody kill me. Like, it's just a never-ending project. People ask me. I actually had someone today say, like, oh, how long do you think it's gonna take you to finish the house? I'm like, how long is a piece of string? Because it's a never-ending project, to be honest. I think once I've got like the bedrooms, the actual house done, like the kitchen, our bedrooms, the bathroom, and so on. Like, once the main rooms of the house are done, I probably will relax and I'll tick along with little jobs, and potentially, focus on the garden, depending on what time of the year it is when we get to that point, and have a little bit of a break before we just, like, think about the extension and all these other bits and bobs, because I need to just get us into the house and just evaluate what it's like to live in the house and where we think things will go, because it's all well and good like looking at the rooms and be like, oh, do it like this, do it like that, do it like this. But until you actually live in the space, you don't really know exactly if, like, oh, if I put the oven there, it's going to work, or if the toilet's here, it'll feel all right. Like, it's one of those things where I have to live with it to get used to it. It's like, I don't want to just whack the extension up and then just live to regret it. Like, oh, I wish I'd done it this way, because, you know what I mean? It takes time. These things take time, along with, all of the other stuff that goes with building an extension. It's a stressful one. But yeah, I'm actually, you know what, I'm going to wrap up the vlog here. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Big shout out to the guys over on the Patreon who get to watch these vlogs early, and as well as like sneak peeks on merch stuff. We're getting very, very close. I actually had my first sample through yesterday, and I'm waiting on 2 more samples before we officially launch the new clothing set line, drop, whatever you want to call it. So that is coming soon. But yeah, I'm sorry if this vlog was short. I have no idea how long this vlog is. I've just been filming as I've been going, so I have not a clue where we're at with today's vlog. If it's short, I'm sorry, but like, it's my birthday, so I'm gonna relax and chill out for the day. Actually, you know what? I might sit here and just reply to comments, because I haven't had the time to sit down and just go through comments and reply to them, and I feel like I'm like 2 weeks behind or something like that. So I'm so sorry. If you're someone who's left a comment, I will get round to replying to it. I've just been a little bit swamped recently. So anyways, thank you so much, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow. I'll catch you tomorrow at 6 p.m. for the next daily vlog. How nice is that again? Lily is at nursery. She's all settled in. She's happy. She actually enjoys herself there. So we are good to continue on progress. Anyways, I'm going to stop rapping. Thanks for watching. Peace, much love. Bye-bye. And the nails I'm going to be using are these galvanized nails. These are... So, as you've seen me do this, bugger me. It's bloody warm, man.